Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Drawing on Fridays, the Landon Huber Experience Show. And today, I thought what we would draw is an evil witch grabbing her pumpkin. So let's begin. First off, let's start by I want the pumpkin to kind of be in the foreground, and she's got her claws or her fingers around it, and her face kind of lurking in the background. So let's start. So in the foreground, I'll have a pumpkin. Pumpkin will be larger. Taking up this area of the foreground. And somewhere in here be the stem of the pumpkin. Now a pumpkin goes down in the middle like that. So when you're drawing them, they come out like that. That's a good thing to remember. And keep in mind when drawing pumpkins. Many things can be learned just by observation, and you always pick up new things throughout life just by observing. Maybe for a while you might have been drawing something a certain way, and then you look at it again and suddenly it's like, wait a minute. You have little moments of realizations as you go. Somewhere in here are going to be the eyes of the pumpkin that's in the foreground. Bring it up just a little bit. And let's start drawing that witch face. So her head is going to be back here. Pumpkin in the foreground like that. And then her hat. Somewhere in there. You're gonna have all these interesting shadows on the face. And her hair are gonna be coming out in there. And then here is where her hand is gonna be coming over the pumpkin, kind of grabbing it. But I really want it to be coming out there. And when I'm making my art, my primary concern is not with the exact realistic proportions of things, because I want more than that. I want dynamics. So I'm recording this show pretty early in the morning right now. So if I seem a little bit early morning sleepy, that's the reason. Witchy nose. One observation, I don't know if I should give this secret away, but when you really make the eyes go really low and then come up like that, it makes the characters look all the more evil. Almost distorts their proportions a little bit more. Let's see if we can get this hand in the right position here. This is a finger coming across. Skinny, bony, witchy fingers. Another finger. And a little pinky. Then I'll have the rind over here from the pumpkin, and then maybe this finger will actually be going behind the pumpkin. Back over there. Sometimes I kind of move around the picture until I'm more satisfied with it, you know. I wanna feel the shapes and the image coming together. Have kind of I probably am not gonna totally draw the bottom of this pumpkin. But we will kind of draw his teeth kind of coming out like that. Maybe just some strandly things kind of coming out, like pumpkin hairs. He was just plucked from the pumpkin patch. So yeah, I'm gonna take a minute here while I'm working on this to go ahead and promote my Etsy store. It's landonhuberart.etsy.com. And if you go over there, I have a whole bunch of really cool Halloween t-shirts and art prints for sale over there. You should definitely go check it out. You can find some more videos that kind of show you some of those designs, some promotional videos in this YouTube channel. If you're interested in quickly just checking that out, or just directly head over to landonhuberart.etsy.com and you'll find them. Now this witch, her mouth, maybe just like one tooth you kind of see down there. Okay. And I want her kind of hobbled over, because witches are always kind of hobbled over in my mind. It's funny, there's some artists, and they draw these like beautiful looking witches. And then you see the kind of witches I draw. Sure, these old hags, you know, these evil, conniving old hags. But man, when I was growing up, oh, that's one story. There was this Halloween party a long time ago that I went to, and there was this one lady my mom knew. She was a friend actually in the neighborhood. And this is when I was super young, just, you know, I was maybe 5, 6 years old at the most. And we went to this Halloween party, and they had all the Halloween festivities, I should say, like biting the apple and various things like that. And anyway, everybody's dressed up because it's a Halloween party. But then, out of the corner of my eye, I hear this evil witch laughing over in the corner of the building, and I'm just like, what is that? And it scared me. I have an overactive imagination as a child, and I guess I still do, but this really, I look over, I saw the scariest, what was to me the scariest looking witch I'd ever seen. Man, she was a scary looking witch, and super realistic. It wasn't like these kind of hodgepodge Halloween costumes that you might see most normal folks, like, me and my family, maybe just throw something together. This thing was like, she just like crawled out of a nightmare. Like this witch, very, and of course when you're young, things seem all the more real. And so, yeah, that freaked me out. I think I ran over to my mom and I was like, "Mom, I don't like that witch," and she was like, "Oh, that's my friend." Da 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 da. Da. I was like, "What? She's your friend?" So, anyway, that may have been my earliest experience with witches and such. Then, of course, I grew up watching the old classic Disney films, which had an effect on me. They had an effect on everybody, everybody that watched them. But they were really good quality animated classics, and everybody knows how good they are. Even though a lot of those originals were made in like the 40s and stuff like that, a long time ago. When you think about it, it's really not all that long ago. Especially not in witch time. Put my signature here. I used to just sign my pictures, because a few years back I was drawing more kind of like surreal kind of pictures, and I used to just sign those LH. And then my wife looked at it, and I asked her, what do you think about that? And she said, nobody knows who LH is. You need to sign your name. And then I realized she was right, and so I developed this signature, and I've been using it ever since. Yeah, back in those days, when we would go in the neighborhood, we would go trick-or-treating, and some of the neighbors would go all out, and one of our neighbors would use strobe lights and dress up like a mummy. And again, like in my mind, it was so realistic, at this time period. I don't know what it was. Um, but I go trick-or-treating to the neighbor's house, and I look over, and again, this is probably around the same time when I'm just a kid, and they say, okay, go. Maybe my parents or maybe my older brother or sisters are with me. They say, okay, go over there and knock on the door and ask for the candy. And it was kind of dark over there, so I'm like, okay, I'll go over there. I start walking over to the door, and I see in the shadows this draped figure, which was a mummy, but I was so young, it just looked like this kind of like bandaged figure, and that was a lot bigger than me. And then I said, okay, go knock on the door. So I have to walk past this, and it's totally still, not moving at all. I have to walk past this bandaged figure and go knock on the door and ask for candy, right? And so I'm walking past, but I got my eye on him. I'm like, I don't know what that guy is over there, And they had all these cobwebs and stuff, like, all over their porch to make it look more scary. So I go over there and knock on the door. I get my candy, and as soon as I turn around and walking back, they turn the strobe lights on. So now the strobe lights are on, and this mummy gets up. I have to walk through the mummy, and now I'm screaming. I was like, ah! I'm just like, I gotta get out of here, And he starts walking towards me, and you know how strobe lights are. They only show you like glimpses, dun, 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 things move closer to you, and kind of this jerky way. And it was a thrill, but I scared the bejesus out of me. I was so scared. But at the same time, it was a memory I never forgot. And some of the subsequent years, because they used to do this every year for a while. And some of the subsequent years, I went back, and I was kind of a little bit older. I was kind of expecting the same experience. I was like, oh, are you guys still doing that? And over time it changed, and they kind of stopped doing it to that level, but it was a lot of fun, and I'll remember it my whole life. So what I'm thinking right here, over here, the witch is going to be, this is her other hand. I'll have it going back into space. And maybe in this hand you'll kind of see her holding an apple. Rind of the apple, maybe just a few drips. This is more of a background element, which when I tighten this up you'll see it better. And maybe behind the witch we'll have some bubbles of some kind of brew she's brewing back there, Yes, I am making my potions. Would you like some, pretty? Come here, and I will let you have a drink. I remember years later, in high school, and maybe even around the college age years, hearing about the Salem witch trials, and I was taking an art class back then, and I tried drawing a representation of a witch being hung, and it was just kind of representing what I was reading about that was going on in the Salem witch trials. But they were like, hanging young girls and things, so that's what I depicted in the drawing I made. But man, my art teacher really didn't like it, He found it offensive, and it was just misrepresented of what I was trying to depict, But I actually never finished that because of that. I had just started that and never really got around to finishing it. Okay, so how much time are we at here? Well, I'm gonna have to say we should probably wrap up this show in at least 5 minutes. But you can see most of the basic premise and idea is here. I wasn't really rushing or pushing this too much. I was just trying to make it as good as I could and kind of remember the good old days of Halloween. But yeah, once more, I want you guys to know about my Etsy shop, LandonHuberArt.etsy.com. I'm actually thinking about opening up more stuff in the future, like maybe not being solely Halloween based, but having like a pretty cool Halloween section. But I'm thinking about possibly opening it up to other various forms. But Halloween will always be there, lurking in the background of the Etsy shop. Alright, I'm going to check my camera because I got a hunch it's maybe possibly run out now. Okay, so we are coming to the end of the episode. Might just try to indicate some little bit more shading on the pumpkin here. Some shadows kind of coming from the fingers. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening to my stories of my Halloween memories. I put these shows up every Friday. So if you like this one, please come back next Friday. And feel free to check out some of the previous videos, because they're pretty cool. You can see me developing these pieces, which at a future date will be, when completed and colored, they will be available on my Etsy store. So, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. And I am going to wrap it up in 1 minute. And I could keep going on this for a while, but I think you got the idea of the witch. And then what I would do to complete this is just keep working on it for a while. And then when I'm pretty satisfied with the pencil, I would begin inking. And then, after it's all totally inked, little shadow on the nose coming down there. Right now I'm squinting. I would come back and color the piece, which is gonna be the real final thing that I do to complete the art. Alright. Enough jibber jabbering for now. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Take it easy, and I'll catch you in the next show. Bye for now.